Welcome back, adventure artists. This time we're going to make a Japanese stab binding. So, if the pamphlet stitch that I showed you in another video was too easy for you, we're going to try something a little bit more advanced. Ready? Let's give it a try. Just like in the pamphlet stitch, I cleared off my workspace to make sure that I didn't have any unnecessary distractions. Then I got all of my parts together. For this, you'll need copy paper, folded in half, something to use as a cover. I used pieces of mat board that I had laying around. For this, the mat board's a little bit too thick, so what I did was I pre-cut it, and then I taped it with some white duct tape that I had laying around. They should all be the same size, which will be 8.5 by 5.5, which is exactly 1/2 the size of a sheet of copy paper. Some of us don't have fancy cutting boards like I've got with that great big arm, so what we're going to do is unfold everything, and you can choose how many sheets you want in this. So what I do is I use a ruler with a really thin metal edge. You can choose any flat, straight, thin surface to do this. You're going to put it along your folded edge. It always helps to pre-fold your paper. And you're going to pull up on one corner towards yourself, away from the edge of your ruler. That ensures a nice straight cut. If you're not comfortable doing it like that, you can always use a pair of scissors. Then what we're going to do is stack all of our sheets of paper. I recommend 10 sheets of paper, cut in half the short way, which is along that 8.5 edge, and bundled together like this. Let's build it. So I'm going to put my piece of mat board together with my filler paper. Then I'm going to put my cover on top, press it all together like so, and just like with my pamphlet, put on my binder clips to make sure nothing wiggles around, especially for the next part, because I'm going to be using a power drill. Now, before I even turn that drill on, I need to figure out where I'm going to put those holes. So, I'm going to put a piece of scrap wood underneath my work. I'm going to get out something to mark with and something to measure with. Now, I'm going to measure in from the edges 1/2 inch. I'm going to move this binder clip down just a touch. It's in the way of my ruler. One-half inch from either side. Then 1 inch in from that. Now I've got to figure out where it is halfway through the middle. Now you can do 1 inch and then 1 inch and whatever you like, but the essential idea here is you want evenly spaced holes going through the paper and the covers all the way through to keep this clean, neat, tidy Japanese stab binding. Alright, I'm ready to make some holes. So I'm going to stack this on top. I put the scrap wood under there to make sure I don't end up with a hole in my work table. I like to start at the middle and work my way out. Make sure you're wearing safety goggles, ladies and gentlemen. Now you don't have to use a drill for this. It's just much faster for the video for me. You can use a pin just like in my other video and press the holes through page by page. go ahead and blow the sawdust, or drill dust rather, into a garbage can. And there you go. Now, you'll see why I did an odd number of holes, because I like to have my tag end, or the extras, where the knot is, in the middle. It keeps with that whole neat, tidy appearance. Now I'm going to use some button thread to bind everything together. And I'm going to wrap and measure 3 times around my work and leave a little bit of extra to work with. Just like before, I thread my needle. Let's see how quick I can do this. First try. Tag end hanging out of the eye of the needle, giving yourself 6 inches just in case something messes up. And keeping everything neat and tidy, you're going to go through the center hole first, leave yourself a tag end, and then you're going to go to, from the back to the front, the next hole over. Go into it a second time, wrapping around the edge of your binding, just like that. Then you're going to go to the next hole over. Now back to front, you're going to wrap around, go through it again, like that. I like to straighten out my needle work as I go. Now this time you're going to wrap around the edge, going through from the back to the front, going through your original hole, going through from the back to the front, go through that hole 2 times. Go to the next hole over. Just like the opposite side. Go from the back to the front. Go through the original hole. Uh-oh. Got too excited. Pulled on my needle before I grabbed the thread. Front to the back. This is where we finish it. Put my needle where it's safe. Doesn't poke anyone. I'm going to do those 2 overhand knots to make sure the stitching and work we just did doesn't come undone. Alright, there you go. Be prepared to be putting all sorts of interesting ideas inside your sketchbooks.